Do you love football or soccer and want to play an essential role in the support for your CPL club? Well, in this episode, I'll be giving you a rundown of all these supporter groups you should be partying with this CPL season. Hey guys, it's Curtis here and you're watching my channel A.F.C. Curtis, your home for all things Canadian Premier League content. If you're new here, maybe consider hitting that red subscribe button. So as you can tell by the opening question of this video, this episode is going to be all about the 7 Canadian Premier League supporter groups for each and every one of the clubs. And this is an episode I've wanted to do now for, quite a while, a couple months now. I've just been building it up, and recently I reached out to these 7 supporter groups and actually communicated with them, talked to them. And each and every one of them have been super awesome and super welcoming to me in answering all my questions and stuff for this episode, and help me. All the information as well as images you see in this video will all be supplied by them. So I mean, they were very, very helpful in helping me build this episode. So if you're having more information about the supporter groups and if I don't answer the questions, I definitely suggest and urge you guys to maybe reach out. Down in the description below, I'll have all the links to their social media as well as their websites if they have any, so you can contact them if you want to join them or just want to find out a little bit more information on how to join them or even how to communicate, or if you want to hang out with them at a pub night. So I mean, all that information will be down in the description below, so I definitely urge you after this episode to definitely click those links and check them out. And without further ado, let's get started. The first stop is in the city of Edmonton with FC Edmonton's official supporter group, River Valley Vanguard. They officially launched in September of 2018 when 2 supporter groups, YEG for CPL and Edmonton Supporter Group, came together. They formed what is now known as River Valley Vanguard, the official supporter group for FC Edmonton. Now, if you're not in the city of Edmonton, don't worry, because they have supporters all over the world. They have them in Calgary, just down in southern Alberta. They have them in BC. They also have them in the US, Korea, and England, just to name a few. So if you're not in the city of Edmonton, don't you worry. There's a bunch of River Valley Vanguard supporters all over the world, so that's incredible. Their section is section 108B at Clark Stadium, so there's a section if you want to go party with them or hang out with them during matches. They're situated right beside or right behind one of the nets, which actually, fun fact that they filled me in on, is during FC Edmonton's most successful season over in the NASL days, they actually seen more than 90% of goals scored on that net just in front of the supporter section. So obviously they're doing something right out there, that's for sure. And they have supporters ranging from kids all the way to grandparents, and the kids, another fun fact, actually lead the chants and lead the songs there, which is all pretty cool stuff right there. So I mean, it's a very family-friendly group, supporter group there, which is great over in the city of Edmonton. So now you gotta expect that supporter group to pretty much look exactly like how they did in June of 2018 when they announced the FC Edmonton was joining the CPL, when they had that big street party on White Ave. They were going down with flares and everything, and everybody was partying and having fun. That's pretty much what River Valley Vanguard is going to bring to each and every home match for the Canadian Premier League's version of FC Edmonton. That's what their march to the stadium will look like for sure. And if you want to, hang out with them, if you want to join that group, or if you want to hang out with them at the pubs, you want to know when their pub nights are, or even they're going to have future kick-arounds, definitely check out their social media there for more information on that. So next we're going to move on to FC Edmonton's rivals, the Calvary FC, and their supporter group, Foot Soldiers supporter group. Not every supporters group starts from a Twitter account, but this one, the Foot Soldiers supporter group for Calvary FC, did way back when, a couple years ago, when my buddy over there, Sean, started a Twitter account, and that morphed into, group meetings, which morphed into them partying and hanging out every Calgary Foothills football club match over in the PDL division, and they've just become the Foot Soldiers of that club, and hence the name Foot Soldiers supporters group. So this is a great party-like group here. Sean actually promised me when I talked to him over Skype there a couple weeks ago, he actually promised me that he's not doing his job if you're not out there partying with them in the stands there. So I mean, this just shows you that the Foot Soldiers supporter group is all about that party-like atmosphere. They want you to have a good time. Win, lose, or draw, you're just going to go there and you're going to have a good time, and he's going to make sure of it. So make sure you check them out, the Foot Soldiers supporter group. Their social media as well will be down in the description below. But you better hurry if you are going to plan on buying tickets in their section, as they've sold out every single seat but 3 seats. There's 3 seats still available as of a couple weeks ago in their supporter section over at the Spruce Meadows stadium there. So you definitely want to check that out. They don't have any rituals yet, but they are meeting at pubs, different pubs, every 3 to 4 weeks. So you can check them out on their social media to find out more information on that. Next, we're going to go east to the city of Hamilton and Forge FC's supporter group, Barton Street Battalion. Now, this group was actually formed in February 2016, making them one of the first ever supporter groups based around a CPL club, which was pretty fun because the CPL wasn't even around. It wasn't even announced until over a year later. So that's incredible that the supporters group is actually around before the league itself. The name Barton Street is actually the name of a street that leads up to the stadium, and that's how they got their name for the supporters group. The group does have a charity aspect to them, as they have a Battalion Charity Cup tournament every single year over at Tim Hortons Field, and this past year the 7 versus 7 tournament raised over $1,500 for a local women's shelter. So that's incredible, with over 100 players taking part in that. So that's pretty cool. I'm sure they'll be smashing those record numbers this year in 2019 with more added involvement with Forge FC. So I'm definitely looking forward to that this year. And they actually have sold over 450 seats to their supporter section over at Tim Hortons Field too. So that's really incredible. You know, it's going to be a big rowdy section there for the Barton Street Battalion. And on top of that, they're the only supporters group that could say that they've had a pub night each and every month for over the last 3 years. So I mean, that's pretty incredible too. You can check out down in the social media, which I'll have linked down in the description below, as they'll be letting you know their future pub dates and future meetups. They actually just have brunch. They had a brunch meetup not too long ago, and they've actually just recently, just last week, had a pretty big trivia night and all that. So that was a pretty big one. They were giving away prizes and stuff, and they always have players from Forge FC come down to these things and hang out with the supporters group. So I mean, this is a really cool group to be a part of over in the city of Hamilton. We're going to move over to Winnipeg now to complete the Prairie supporter groups with Red River Rising, Valor FC's supporter group. It all started when one of the founding members, Adam, went online and started the conversation in late 2016, which then led to the group actually kind of coming together and forming in January of 2017. And now fast forward to 2019, and they are now doing monthly pub meetings over at the King's Head Pub. Their monthly pub nights will actually consist of, every month will be different. So one of them will be like a planning night where they'll plan events for, you know, future matches coming up, or what they'll do on match day, all the way to TIFO painting parties. So they'll be painting banners and stuff that you'll see at Investors Group Field on match day, which is pretty cool. They're going to have a pretty cool, exciting march to the stadium, to Investors Group Field, that they're still kind of in the planning stages for, but they're going to have smoke, they're going to have flags, they're going to have drums, and of course you're going to hear the sweet, sweet singing of the group. So it's going to be fantastic and an exciting experience to experience right here in Winnipeg for your Valor FC matches. For more information on the supporters group and how to join them, as well as, you know, getting into those painting parties and whatnot over at the King's Head Pub, definitely check out their social media as well as their website. I'll have all those down in the description below. Next, we're going to go to Pacific FC's supporter group, the Lakeside Boys. The Lakeside Boys were first founded back in 2009 to support the Victoria Highlanders of the PDL. And the term Lakeside is actually obviously a meaning to this settling body of water, which is located right beside West Hill Stadium, the stadium that Pacific FC will be playing out of. And then, of course, the Buoys, which is in this case spelled B-U-O-S, or Y-S, sorry, is of course a nautical pun, as well as a play on how a lot of English supporters or European supporter groups spell boys, which is B-H-O-Y-S. So there you go, you just learned 3 different ways really to learn, you learned how to spell boys. Now, if you can't find them at West Hill Stadium, the Lakeside Boys will also be hanging out over at the 8th Street Tap House in the heart of downtown Victoria, and they'll be watching the Pacific FC away matches there, as well as having a monthly pub night there. And then for the game day experience section, they'll actually be going and doing a tailgating just outside West Hill Stadium, which is pretty fun, and of course a march to the stadium all on game days for home matches there. So definitely Lakeside Boys is a place, there's a group to go for you Pacific FC fans out there, and you can find all information about them down in the description below. Next, we're going to go to York Region with Generation 9, the supporter group for York 9 FC. Now, the aim of the group is to bring a carnival-like fun and experience to all home matches for York 9 FC, and their mantra is 90 minutes of support, loud while winning, loudest while losing. And this group is, it's safe to say, is definitely going to be original. They're with the whole alien theme, it's really cool. They filled me in on that they're going to have original songs, original style, clearly with the alien theme. And I know a lot of people wonder, why do they do the alien theme, and they actually filled me in on it. And the reason why is because if you enter in York Region from north end of Toronto, they actually have kind of at nighttime some weird alien type lights and stuff, and a lot of that is kind of, and I also did some research on it myself, and they actually have a lot of UFOs that show up in the area. So I think it's safe to say that a lot of these players that they're going to have on York 9 are going to be out of this world. So if you want to find out more information on that, I have their Instagram down in the description below. And finally, here we end off in the city of Halifax with the Halifax Wanderers supporter group, Privateers 1882. So the group all started in September of 2016, and like some other groups on this list, they started all from a Twitter account, and the group was actually originally named the Atlantic Wanderers Supporter Group. And the reason why they went with the Wanderers back then is because, well, let's face it, the Wanderers is a pretty cool name to have for a group or a football club, or a group and football club. The group actually went into lobbying mode not too long after that when they found out that Sports Entertainment Atlantic, which is the ownership group that now owns the Halifax Wanderers, were looking to get land, but the city council had to go and vote on if they get the land or not, and therefore the supporter group actually went and lobbied for them, making letters and handing in the letters to the city. And that just shows you right off the bat, before they even have a club, they're already huge and impactful in the community. Fast forward a few months later, and the group known as the Atlantic Wanderers ended up meeting a lot of media guys and marketeers that came from what is now known as the Canadian Premier League, and they actually strongly urged the group to use the name Wanderers. Another fun fact about the term Wanderers is right after the Atlantic Wanderers supporter group was actually announced or was already formed on Twitter, not too long after that, a news outlet did report that if the city of Halifax would get a Canadian Premier League club, they would be most likely playing out of the Wanderers grounds. So that just kind of goes full circle and showing that it's just meant to be, that the Wanderers grounds are supposed to host the supporters group that used to be called the Wanderers, and the club that they host there is obviously going to be called the Wanderers in the Canadian Premier League. So it all just goes full circle. Now fast forward a little bit more further down the line here, and in 2018, right before the club was announced, they actually kind of got wind that the name of the new CPL club in Halifax would be called the Halifax Wanderers, and therefore the Atlantic Wanderers supporter group decided to change their name, and that's when they came up with the name Privateers 1882. Why Privateers? Well, it's because that was another name that they're originally going to go with as their supporter group name way back when in 2016, but they just didn't. So therefore they took on the mantra now in 2018, and in 1882, the number there, or the year, is actually the year the original Halifax Wanderers were formed back in 1882, and they played out of the Wanderers ground, which is where the new CPL's Halifax Wanderers are playing. So that's, again, crazy how everything just revolves around Wanderers in the city of Halifax. On match days in Halifax, you can find the group partying it out and cooking up some fun in the kitchen, which is the name of their supporter section, another little fun nod of theirs from the early days. And of course, if you want to find more information out about the group and the supporters group and what they're going to have plans for 2019 here, definitely check out their social media and their website and stuff. I'm going to have that linked down in the description below. Well guys, that was my supporters group episode, and I want to say a big special thank you to all 7 of you guys, the supporter groups out there, for, you know, just helping me out build this episode up, and for supporting my channel, and for me all right here on YouTube. You know, it's been pretty good and pretty fun the last few months doing this channel, and I really wanted to help promote the supporter groups, the 7 different supporter groups, and there's a lot more out there too for these 7 different Canadian Premier League clubs. So if you want to find more information out on these supporter groups, I definitely urge you guys to go down in my description below. Click those links. You can find out more information about each and every one of those supporter groups and how to join them, where to find them, all that kind of stuff. All that fun stuff is all down in the description below. And you let me know in the comment section, are you part of a supporters group? And you know, just let me know in the comment section, you know, if you are part of a supporters group, what are some fun activities you guys usually do every year? You know, share them all down in the comment section below. I'm interested in hearing what you guys come up with. And of course, if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button, that thumbs up button. And if you want to see more content just like this about the Canadian Premier League, maybe consider hitting that red subscribe button. Well guys, I don't know if you know this, but I'm also part of a very special website. It's called northernstarting11.com. I'll have a link for it down in the description below, and that website's just fantastic. There's a bunch of great Canadian made, for Canadians, by Canadians soccer content there. There's my videos are all there. There's other videos. There's also great soccer podcasts there too to check out, all about the Canadian Premier League, about Canadian soccer in general, about the national teams. All that stuff is right there in one place, northernstarting11.com. So check it out down in the description below. And until next time, thank you guys for watching.